The US is discussing strikes on Iran's oil facilities as retaliation for Tehran's missile attack on Israel. That's according to President Joe Biden on Thursday. Israel is weighing its options after Iran launched its largest ever assault on Tuesday. Biden was asked whether he would support Israel striking Iran's oil facilities.
We're in discussion with that. I think that would be a little... Anyway.
His comments contributed to a surge in global oil prices due to the rising Middle East tensions. The president also emphasized that no immediate action was planned, but reassured that Israel would respond to Iran's aggression. A U.S. official said Washington does not believe Israel has decided yet how to respond to Iran. However, on Wednesday, Biden said he would not support any Israeli strike on Iran's nuclear sites. Meanwhile, Israel continued to target Hezbollah in Lebanon, launching new airstrikes on Beirut. Israel appeared to be targeting Hezbollah strongholds with reports of heavy bombardment in the Dayeh area. Residents say Israel ordered people to leave their homes in parts of the district. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed Iran will pay for Tuesday's missile attack, and Washington said it would work with its longtime ally to ensure Iran faced severe consequences. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian, speaking in Doha, said on Thursday that Tehran would be ready to respond. Israel says its operations in Lebanon aim to help tens of thousands of its citizens to return home after areas near its northern border were forced to evacuate by Hezbollah attacks during the Gaza war. Meanwhile, over 1.2 million Lebanese have been displaced, with nearly 2,000 casualties reported since the escalation of Israeli attacks in the past year, primarily in the last 2 weeks.
Donald Trump was willing to sacrifice our capital to allow law enforcement officers to be beaten and brutalized in his name, and to violate the law and the Constitution in order to seize power for himself. I don't care if you are a Democrat or a Republican or an independent. That is depravity, and we must never become numb to it. I know that the most conservative of conservative values is fidelity to our Constitution. I tell you, I have never voted for a Democrat, but this year I am proudly casting my vote for Vice President Kamala Harris.
U.S. dock workers and port operators reached a deal Thursday to end a crippling 3-day strike. The stoppage has shut down shipping on the East Coast and Gulf Coast. It's the biggest such walkout in nearly half a century, with analysts putting the cost to the economy at up to $5 billion per day. In all, 36 ports were affected, including New York, Baltimore, and Houston. Now, Reuters sources say the two sides have agreed to a pay hike of 62% over 6 years. The United States Maritime Alliance group of employers had previously offered close to 50%. In a statement, the union and port operators said they would now go back to the bargaining table to hammer out the remaining details. Among the key issues that remain is automation, which workers say will lead to job losses. International Longshoremen's Association boss Harold Daggett wants cargo shippers to stop projects that threaten employment. He says shipping lines like Maersk have refused to heed the demand. Now, a deal to end the strike will be a relief for President Joe Biden. He had sided with the dockers, calling on the shipping industry to share the bumper profits it's made in recent years. Biden had resisted calls from business groups and Republican lawmakers to use federal powers to end the stoppages, which they said threatened chaos for consumers. The strike has left at least 45 container vessels waiting to unload and came just as southeastern states were struggling for supplies following a deadly hurricane. On Thursday, the White House convened a virtual meeting of shipping line bosses, pressing them to agree to a quick deal following the storm. By midday, the shippers had agreed to make an improved pay offer.